a family vehicle and you're looking to buy one, you may notice that there are an awful lot of PHEVs on the market. So we're going to find out why right now, today. So let's start off in the 1990s, specifically 1999. The minivan was the mover of choice for many families, although that was soonly going out of style. The thousands would definitely be where minivans reached their peak and where the next type of fad family transportation would take over. In this case, what a vehicle that helped spark that transition was the Honda Pilot, an off-road minivan with a third row, not with a third row, an off-road minivan that was essentially just a Honda Odyssey with all-wheel drive, right? You could take it off-road if you wanted it to, but you could also take the kids to school. It was designed as a family vehicle and not a family van. A lot of families really like this arrangement. They could fit more in it, right? And it just fit their lifestyle a little bit better, being a little bit more active. Nope, it did have a third row. There we go. So it was essentially a takeover for the minivan. And as more and more families wanted to be cooler, a fun dad, cool mom, they ended up getting these, like your usual soccer mom vehicles, parked under the pine tree so that mom can sit in there wasting away in Margaritaville while watching a basketball game that no one's going to win. That classic family vehicle. The classic Larry, Terry, Jerry, Mary, Jerry again, get in the van, we're going to Starbucks, just that van, right? So by 2005, Toyota had also had a competitor called the Toyota Highlander. Now, around this time, Toyota had just redesigned the Toyota Prius, and it was gaining serious traction. So Toyota put two and two together and figured the only issue that these bigger vehicles have is gas mileage. You see, the older vans were big, but they were close to the ground, and they were also more egg-shaped, which means they got great gas mileage. These were high off the ground and very blunt in the front, which made them very hard in aerodynamics and very hard to get good gas mileage out of. So Toyota put two and two together and figured, hey, if the average family is going to start buying these vehicles, we should probably make a hybrid version, right? It shouldn't take that much, and they actually made a hybrid version. It was a very good version of the car you could buy if you wanted a hybrid, and a lot of families chose it. In fact, a lot of people in my specific neighborhood, I think about 3, which is a lot, had Highlander hybrids, because they're relatively cheap to buy used. It was relatively new and cool technology, and again, you could park it outside of the palm tree watching that baseball, football, soccer game, It was just perfect, right? And you got better gas mileage, the same gas mileage as the minivan or even a big sedan if you wanted, with the storage and luxuriousness of a bigger SUV, right? In the storage space. So this definitely caught on. And this is where the new era of family transportation caught on, right? The earliest version was, of course, the Honda Pilot, which caught it on, right? I feel like the Highlander also did that, but, it gets complicated when you really look into it, right? And then the Highlander Hybrid was when the idea of a family minivan, or a family van, being raised off the ground and being hybridized was ever first, conceived, was their first thought of. A lot of people said that the Highlander Hybrid, KBB. A lot of people said that the Highlander Hybrid was incredibly ahead of its time, and I agree. I mean, this was 2005, and we already had a hybrid, large, SUV that was only in its first generation. Toyota obviously knew that the Highlander was meant for families, so that's why the Highlander Hybrid was an immediate hit. By 2010, they had an even cooler version. This was updated. It was perfect for families, had a great interior. I'm going to make an in-depth video on this one later on, but it was really just the ideal family vehicle. You can fit everyone in, it has a third row in case you need it, and a gigantic trunk, right? So again, this is where they started to take off. More and more families started selling their Honda Odysseys, Toyota Siennas, to buy something of this nature. Highlander sales increased, minivan sales started to decrease. This was officially the change we had been looking for. Anywho, by 2014, it had caught on. It was perfect. Everything a family had needed ever, and again I'm going to make a video on this as well, was in this tight little package that got amazing gas mileage and was perfect. But around this time, hybrids started getting popular. So we've already made it a hybrid, but plug-in hybrids and EVs were starting to happen. And what happens when you combine a hybrid with an EV? A plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Yeah, so you can put gas in one side and a plug in the other. Now, I've done videos on the Mercedes-Benz B-Class and the Volkswagen e-Golf, two very good family EVs. But I've also made a video on this, the Toyota Prius plug-in from 2015. But the interesting thing about a plug-in and why it's so popular is because, like, a lot of families are weary about EVs. They should be, right? They're very different. They're very weird. And also, that's a finite amount of range. There's no range booster. That's just all the miles you have. And if you can't get home in that amount of miles, you better start charging, right? And a lot of families are weary of that, especially when there are kids in the car. You know, they don't want the battery to die, be stranded on the freeway, be shivering to death. You know, they just want a normal car, right? So that backup of having that gas motor is nice. So you can have all the benefits of an EV. I've again, done a video on this. All the benefits of an EV, you know, the wonderful range you get that's essentially free for a while, at least, right? How easy it is to plug it in, right? How easy it is to drive, how speedy and efficient they are. Well, having that little range extender, you know, the gasoline engine to take over if the hybrid system can't deal with it, the EV system can't deal with it. B, if you run out of range, and or C, just blend the two nicely for an amazing, you know, get more power, get more torque, get up that hill, and then go back to EV when you're driving back down the hill with a headwind. You know, just perfect. Great. So now we're starting to see different companies like Toyota start to make their vehicles just a little bit more hybrid. In fact, I thought not a lot of people caught on to this. The Sienna and the Camry go hand in hand, right? When the Sienna does something, the Camry does the next thing. So when the Camry went all hybrid, I knew the next Camry would be going all hybrid. They're essentially just the same vehicle. Both meant for families, both sell very well, except the Sienna, which still sells okay, you know, but it's not a one-hit wonder like it was in the 90s. But yeah. So it just, you know, if the Sienna next generation is a hybrid hydrogen exclusive, the Camry probably will be too. So exactly when do we start to see, you know, minivans and bigger cars start to go all PHEV on us? Well, the Grand Highlander. This is a brand new 2024 model, and this is the new flow, right? This is the natural progression of things, right? People, again, right, there's a new generation, right? And they want something different. They want the storage space of that minivan, that gigantic, big honkin' minivan, and they don't have to compromise on storage space like you often do with the Highlander. They want a minivan, but bigger. That's where the Grand Highlander comes in. So Toyota introduced this in 2024 to be kind of the family vehicle. You know, this is the new minivan. This is Toyota's new minivan. You know, at least the normal one in this beautiful ivory color here, you know. This is the van, right? And other companies followed suit. Lexus, of course, did. Now, Lexus is kind of an interesting argument to make, right? Lexus is essentially, right, Toyota rebadged. Now, it's not rebadge engineering. They use the same platforms, develop their own cars. What Lexus is, Lexus chooses exactly what cars they want to take and what cars they want to leave. The Lexus TX is, of course, the Grand Highlander reimagined, right, which I think is perfect, right? And then we have the Toyota Grand Highlander hybrid. Now, the reason why hybrids are perfect for families, yada, 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 they get better gas mileage. So why are PHEVs taking over, and why does Lexus have one? First of all, PHEVs are more expensive to make than normal, just gasoline engine cars because of all the pluggy bits and the engine bits. They're usually more expensive than EVs alone, just because you have to have the engine in there too, and they're usually more expensive than regular engine cars because you have to have the EV in there. You know, and it's different from hybrids because they compromise on both of those to get it down to roughly the same price, especially used. So why are we seeing this? So let's just look at the players, right? We have the Grand Highlander hybrid, which is just a hybrid. We have the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, Lexus TX. Then we have the Mazda CX-90 PHEV, two different trim levels on that, also very, very good. This is the PHEV Preferred, Premium Sport, and Premium Plus. Of course, from Mazda, this is their new vehicle, which is competing head-to-head with the Toyota Grand Highlander, launched the exact same year. It's kind of funny. So Toyota used to play off Honda a lot with the Honda Element and the FJ Cruiser, with the HR-V and the CHR. You know, they would release cars very similar to each other, but a little bit different, just a little bit different of a niche, right? The Honda Element was all about storage capacity and usableness, and the FJ Cruiser was all about off-roadiness and heritage. You know, they were both the same car. They both had suicide doors. I mean, the two doors that open up at the same time. They both had the same doors. They both were marketed to the same people, just with different things in mind. The Prius was the family car. The Honda was the sporty car, right? They always play off each other. Now it seems Toyota's kind of doing that with Mazda, so it's fun to see Toyota, because Honda's now off with Nissan. They've ran away, from being an actually good brand with Nissan now. So Toyota's kind of doing that with Mazda now, so that's kind of cool to see. And we also have the Kia Carnival MPV, which they say are going to get a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Now, Kia I don't usually include in anything because I feel like they're a worthless company. All stupid garbage. And the Kia Fires are definitely an example of that. I don't feel like they're good. I feel like they are very unreliable. And I feel like they're ugly. I mean, those wheels are ugly. Those wheels are ugly. Those wheels are ugly. Those wheels are ugly. Very, very ugly. I really do not like their vehicles. I don't, right? So, with that being said, this turning into a PHEV means officially minivans are dead unless they are a PHEV, right? Toyota officially going hybrid with the Sienna. Toyota officially going hybrid with the Sienna in 2021. Officially made that turn, right? It's either hybrids or PHEVs. So the simple answer is Toyota came up with something, Lexus followed suit, and so did Mazda. These are the new three big players. You can get the CX-90 from Mazda, which is more luxury. You can get the Lexus, which is ultra luxury, or you can get the down and dirty Toyota, just normal. My personal favorite is just the Toyota. I like the reliability. I like the interior better than the Lexus because it doesn't have a gigantic screen. This is just the new generation of the family hauler now, right? PHEVs are just taking over. Because, like I said before, as a family, you have that, that you can get great gas mileage because of that EV-ness and that you can get essentially free miles to drive. But you also know that in case those miles run out, you have a perfectly normal, conventional gas thing to go wherever, It's like you have all the good stuff of an EV and all the good stuff of a regular gas vehicle. If you want to go on a road trip, fill it up with gas. Just perfect. So with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I am really enjoying making these videos, especially now that they're not like a million miles long. Just got power back, so yay.